afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Doc and Queenie Guest Live. Hey, Queenie.
Hey, Doc, it's not even hard. What's going on?
Well, we try to shake it up a little bit for everybody. It's a great day, and we have a fantastic guest today that we need to share with everybody.
I love that. And having Doc and Queenie guest live and featuring our dynamic community rocks my world. And who do we have today, Doc?
We have Kammy Downs. She is a local Kansas City artist and teacher, and welcome, Kammy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are so thrilled, honestly, to get to feature members of our Doc and Queenie community, honestly, and know that you've got something to share with our community because I happen to know there's a certain heart day coming up, and this might be the perfect fit for you. Tell us about you, Kammy.
Well, like you said, I live in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm originally from very, very small rural Kansas area, but I've lived in California as well. And like you said, I'm teaching. I teach for a few different schools. I'm an adjunct at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. I teach online drawing classes for a Christian school that's internationally online. So my students are from all over, which is really cool. And then I also teach art classes for homeless veterans in the more downtown KC area at a facility that gives them a home and benefits while they're trying to get their feet back on the ground, so to speak. So
That is
that's,
really cool.
So I
yeah.
have a question. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, like you said, I'm an artist, so I have a pretty serious art practice that encompasses a number of things. I make my own plant-based dyes. But and then I do drawings on those dyed fabrics, and then I make some medicinal herbal plant drawings that are made out of these fabrics that are dyed. Plus, I draw on them and I stitch. I do a lot of embroidery stitching and piecing on them, so they'll look a little bit like a big, huge quilt because they're bigger than I am. They're 3 foot by 7 foot ish. Um,
Wow.
so those are my more serious pieces. But I also do social practice work, which means I try to take art out into the community. That's a whole nother aspect of what I do. And then kind of as a little bread and butter kind of thing, I make my hand created scarves. I make some scarves. Yes, like Queenie's there and mine. These are fiber active dyes on silk, 100% silk scarves. So I have a lot of different colors. Like I have all different types and colors. A lot of them are tie dye, but a lot of them are shibori folded. So that's a style of creating dyed
That's cool.
pieces. And then I
It's
also do eco prints. And so I have some scarves that are made with these beautiful, like this one's my flower, my rose bush leaves and roses. So, and then I've got marigolds and other types of leaves that I use to print. So that kind of gives you a breadth of those scarves.
Well, and then I
I
kind of
love
stuck.
mine so much. I didn't know there were any other colors in the world, Doc, except for purple.
Yes, yes. And I was going to say, Kammy, I kind of stalk you on Facebook, and I just saw you had a few of your pieces, your art pieces, accepted at some galleries.
Yeah, that's
So that's
another
pretty
thing.
cool.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Well, those two pieces are two fiber pieces. They're both medicinal herbal on the flower of brionia, which brionia is a medicinal herb used in homeopathy, and I've been using it for years to help me cope with an asthma issue. So though that particular show was about fiber passions and your passion in fiber, medicinal herbs are a personal, huge passion of mine. So I created those. Those will be at North So it's called NOTO, and that stands for North Topeka. There's the North Topeka Art Center there, and it'll be in their Morris Gallery, and that's all of March and April.
Wow. Well,
So those,
congratulations. That's awesome.
thank you. I will also have some locally here in the full month of March and do an artist talk at the Mid-American Nazarene University. So
Okay.
in their library, there will be a section, and you'll see one of my large pieces, several of my tiny pieces, and then I'll have one of my social practice pieces called Seeds for Hope, and they're all little seed drawings from people all over the world. And so you'll be able to see that there if you like.
Wow.
That is not like you're busy or anything. That is really cool.
Oh my goodness. I think this is fascinating and I'm enthralled. Like I say, this is soft and fabulous and amazing. I didn't know there were any other colors in the world besides purple. So I'm very intrigued by the fact that you have other things to show us. I really mean this with all my heart. To be able to have local artisans is so spectacular, certainly in our Doc and Queenie community. And I happen to know that you might be the mom of one of our superstars. Who is that?
Okay. Would that be Sabra, Dr. Sabra?
That would be
That would be,
Dr. Sabra. Yes.
Okay.
that's right. We were super
I'm
excited.
like, I know Laura knows her, so I
That's
was
right.
thinking that would be a close, but I have 5 daughters as
Oh,
so
wow.
Sabra's just number 2 on the list of age, I mean, in terms of their presenting in my life.
Wow. Well, it looks like we've got 4 others to meet, Doc.
Yes, we do. We will just have to line them up and we'll just have a family gathering.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right. Dr. Saber is actually one of our favorites, and to have her on Doc and Queenie Guest Live is a blast as well. I must know, Kammy, my mother was into gardening and art, and she was a concert pianist and an interior designer, everything art in my household growing up. How did you start this? Like, where did this gift come from?
well, absolutely. It's a gift from the Lord, and all of our gifts are from the Lord. And He gives, we're all created in His image to be creative, but we each have a different style or a different talent that we can use in our creativity. You guys created the show, and I'm certain, knowing Laura, you created a lot of other things. So that's your gifting and how you're being creative in the image that God has created you to be. So for me, my artistic ability started presenting itself around first and second grade. So so I started drawing, and of course my father really encouraged that. Wherever we went, he would always stop if there was someone drawing or painting, and he would let me, like, we could be there for as long as I wanted to be. But another part of that is I come from a family of craftsmen and artistic designer type people. My mother's very creative, and she can make her own patterns, and she sews very well. So I began sewing in second grade. I made my own little outfit. It was just a nightgown, a little girl's nightgown, but I made it all on my own at second grade. And when you grow up that way, you don't think that there's anything unusual about that until you get out in the world and you're like, oh, not everybody even knows how to sew or crochet or do embroidery. And
That would
so,
be me.
well, but I know you a little bit, and I know you're very creative in other ways. So,
Right.
and that's what matters, that is what matters. And
That is awesome.
of course, I when I graduated from high school, I went out and did end up being able, God willing, to go to college. And I eventually became an art teacher. And so I've been doing that for 30 some years. So I don't know how long, 30 over a long time.
Wow and double wow. That's why I asked you earlier, what do you do in your spare time? I think I have a headache now because I can't even imagine all the different places and things that you do. Now, honestly, I am 1,000,000% thrilled, not only that we get to have you on Doc and Queenie Guest Live, of course, first of all, that I get to meet Sabra's mom, which is cool. But the rest of the story for me is when you have your items and you get extra little perks inside. When I got this gorgeous scarf, and then all of a sudden I get be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10. This is a treasure for me that I get to keep by my computer all the time. I'm working all day long. I'm Zooming all day long. This is my reminder. Be still and know that I am God. I think that you have that extra touch, just like you said that your gifts come from the Lord. It is so cool to have someone who absolutely knows where all of their blessings come from, Kammy, and you definitely do.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't want to take full credit for that sticker though, because everything about that sticker and the idea of putting it in with the scarves comes from my fourth daughter named Tessa.
Wow.
And she's very creative and she's a believer as well. And being a graphic designer, that was her thing. We've got to do these things, Mom, so.
That's really cool. Do you have a favorite on everything that you do, or do you just love it all? That's a hard
Yeah.
question, because you're in different areas, but can you
Yeah.
narrow it down to a favorite? Or does it just
Um, well, in terms of my own artwork, it would be my really large pieces that take about 2 months to create. And they're really large medicinal plants. And you see the root section too, or their tap roots, or their tubers, or they're just, the traditional little root things. I try to put all that in there because I like to talk about the seen and how the unseen in our lives affects the seen. And so that's my theme that I communicate. And I really enjoy doing that. And that's why I'm constantly applying. Like right now, I've got like 6 different places that I'm applying to get my work in. I'm applying for residencies to go and work somewhere. And then it just gets my work out there. And even though I do mention the Lord in some respect, but I definitely bring attention to the fact that there is that unseen in our life that we really need to pay attention to, because it does affect what's on the outside and what grows from our life.
Right, that's great. That's great. Do you have people pay for your artwork? Do you do that also? Have you, like
Yes.
I'm like consignment, I think. I guess that's a terminology.
Right. Yes, all my work is for sale. I
Okay.
really don't have pieces right now. If you're putting stuff into galleries and exhibitions and things like that, most generally you put it up for sale. And especially because most exhibitions, especially if they're international or even national, they don't want work that's older than 2 years old.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so once like the pieces I'm trying to get in right now, there are those pieces that I've made 2 years ago, and I know this is the last year I have to get them in, most likely. It's not like they'll never be shown somewhere else, but I would really like to sell them because I do need the income. My studio's in my home, but it's very cramped. And yeah, I could just really use the room to move things out so I can create new bodies and keep moving. So
That's really neat.
thank
So,
you.
of course, I have a question. Um, with all of our listeners watching now or certainly on the replay and connecting with you in our Doc and Queenie community, how do our friends get their hands on these gorgeous pieces? Like, how do we find you? Do you have a website? Do you have a
Yeah.
Facebook page? What does that look like?
Yeah, so my website is you can see the scarves particularly there, as well as my artwork, but there's a shop on there.
Okay.
And my daughter Tessa made that happen. She put things together. But it's very simple. It's just Kammy Downs, KAMMY DOWNS.com. Of course, www dot and then cammydowns.com. So, and then on Instagram, you can find me on Instagram as well. And it's just Kammy Downs. That's all. And I am on Facebook, but definitely Instagram's easy. You can message me. When things do sell, things can get sold sometimes faster than I find out what somebody wants, but I can work things out. I can usually make something. Um, in fact, if someone is interested in it and it's not the right color, like the right purple or something, I could take a little order and make something up. But I do have some things in the pop shop on the campus of Kansas City, Kansas Community College in the art department there, and anything sold there. I've got several scarves there, and anything sold there goes to the art club. So my students like that. But yeah, I would say you can message me through my website and you can look at items there.
I was looking at Facebook also, and you have a Facebook page, I thought.
Yes, and I believe it could be Kammy Cannelli Downs. I forget. It's either Kammy Downs or Kammy Cannelli. That's my maiden name.
No, I found your personal page. I was wondering about your business page.
Well, I really don't use it. I started one. There's
Okay.
one that's Kammy's art, and it made things more complicated for me. And I really don't have time to do a lot on Facebook, so I make it more just about my art with a little bit of family in there.
Well, the good is, as soon as I typed in Kammy's art, your Instagram page came up. So that is great, great, great marketing, because it sounds like so much on Instagram as well as your website. This is so exciting. I seriously can't stand it. And with Valentine's Day coming up, gentlemen, anybody out there or Galentine, I know that is a big thing now. If you get a gift for a girlfriend, it's so cool to be able to have a local artist who is actually has items for sale. I can't say enough about this fabulous scarf. Not only is it absolutely gorgeous, but it feels amazing. And
I love it.
Oh my gosh. And now I know the backstory as far as each piece and all of the handcrafting by you. This is magnificent. I am so excited.
Well, I'm encouraged. And I do love the silk. After getting involved with creating things with the scarves with silk, I've done workshops where people can come and make their own scarf. But now I'm like, oh, I kind of just would like everything to be in silk that I wear. Silk and linen.
Yes, I can understand why. I totally get that. This is so amazing. I love it so much.
Well, thank you, Kammy, for joining us. It looks like we are out of time, as it always flies, Queenie.
It really does, Doc. I mean, these Doc and Queenie guest lives, we try to keep within 15 to 20 minutes so all of your friends can get these messages, and certainly on our Doc and Queenie community page. It is so awesome, like I said, to be able not only to meet Saber's mom, which is cool, but to also know that you've got such a heart for helping others. What happens if you get a gift from the Lord and you have this type of skill and you keep it to yourself and you didn't do that? And I just think this is a magnificent testimony to his goodness. It's for real.
Well, thank you so very much. I'm so encouraged to be able to share it in the community, the faith community. So bless you, bless you, bless you. And thank you so much.
Likewise, too. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today on Doc and Queenie Facebook Live. And don't forget, we are on every Monday, Facebook Live and we will wish you a great rest of the week and have a fantastic weekend. It looks like it's going to be a little bit warmer here in Kansas City, a little bit of rain, but we'll take rain and no negative 20s. And of course, we will say go Chiefs, and take care, everyone. And we will catch you on Monday. Thank you, Kammy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Bye for now.
Thanks, Queenie. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.